Now it's my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Congressman Doug Lamborn. Congressman Lamborn was first elected to represent Colorado's 5th Congressional District in 2006. He serves as chairman of the Committee on Energy and Mineral Resources, the House Committee on National Resources. He also serves on the House Armed Services Committee and the House Veterans Affairs Committee. Throughout his career in public service, the Congressman has been a leader on faith, pro-family, small business issues. He's also a strong advocate for our men and women defending our nation in the military and a supporter of lower taxes, less government spending, and protection of the Second Amendment. Most recently, the Congressman's leadership and hard work led to a decision for the Veterans Cemetery to be located in our region. Congressman Lamborn has been married to Jeannie for over 36 years. Today, have raised 5 children and they have 2 grandchildren. We're grateful to the Congressman for the years of service he has given and continues to give to the people of this region. Please join me in a warm welcome for Congressman Doug Lamborn.
Tom, thank you for those kind words, and I want to thank the Regional Business Alliance and Joe Raso for putting this event together. And you all have heard recently that Colorado Springs was named the most romantic place in the country. So I just want to say I'm glad my wife Jeannie is here, and it's been 37 years, so she probably deserves a medal for that. But anyway, it's great to be here. Thank you all for coming. It's an honor to represent you in Congress. This is such a beautiful place that we call home. Our mountains, our climate, and the people make this the most beautiful, as well as the most romantic place to live in the country. We're a strong and resilient community. Whether it's wildfires, floods, or economic difficulties, we meet challenges head-on and with cooperation and compassion. We are poised for great success in the years ahead, and our prosperous future will come to us thanks to everyone here and our community working together to make this an even better community. Exciting projects will ensure that our region continues to grow as a healthy, dynamic, and attractive destination for tourists, business, and residents alike. I remain dedicated to doing everything I can to keep the federal government as servant and not a master. That's why I will continue to oppose tax increases, wasteful spending, and burdensome regulations. I will keep fighting for constitutional and traditional values. And I will work hard to implement policies that spur economic growth and create a favorable atmosphere for job creation. As someone entering his 8th year in Congress, I've seen what works in public policy and what doesn't work. So let me share my perspective with you on the state of the 5th Congressional District. There are 4 critical issues facing our nation and our community: the impacts of budget cuts and sequestration on our military, veterans issues, energy, and healthcare. Here in El Paso County, I know that people of all political persuasions recognize the importance of maintaining our robust active duty military presence. These brave men and women and their families are critical to our local economy. They need to be given every tool and resource possible so that they can train for and execute their mission. Following many years of war, the military is changing and adapting to a new landscape. Our region remains essential to the training and preparation of our warfighters. I want to thank everyone in this room who, like me, considers it their mission to keep the military strong and robust here in El Paso County. The Army sees the key importance of Fort Carson. That's why we've received a 2,700 soldier combat aviation brigade, along with hundreds of millions of dollars in construction at Fort Carson. This helicopter-based brigade will provide important attack, reconnaissance, lift, and medical capabilities to our forces in battle. Now recently, the Army has also decided to make the 4th Infantry Division a more flexible and agile unit by transitioning some forces into a Stryker brigade. These Stryker vehicles are faster, more versatile, and more efficient than their tank predecessors. And the positive news goes beyond Fort Carson. Soon the Air Force 4th Space Control Squadron will be relocating from Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico to Peterson. This space control unit will bring about 100 positions to Peterson, allowing them to link up with their sister unit and provide for more efficient and effective training. Also important at Peterson is the recent activation of Special Operations Command North within NORTHCOM. This new group will enhance General Jacoby's capability to command and coordinate operations and allowing for better protection of the homeland. So, as you can see, we have more missions coming here. The Army, Navy, the Army, Air Force, and the entire military, the Pentagon, recognizes that this is a desirable place to work and live. I was told one time that in the Army, it's the second most popular place where people pick out where they want to be posted, after Hawaii. So we have that going for us. And I've heard people in the military say that there is no community. There are very supportive communities out there. There are no communities more supportive of the military than Colorado Springs. Remember the airmen at Schriever and Cheyenne Mountain standing watch over space, as well as the cadets and faculty working every day to create the new leaders and officers for the Air Force. It's critical that the military does not turn into a budgetary punching bag. I will do everything I can from my senior position on the House Armed Services Committee to make sure that crippling defense cuts promoted by the Obama administration never take place. In the next Congress, I will be running for a subcommittee leadership position on the Armed Services Committee to make sure that I can even better protect and defend our district from threats of realignment and cuts. Our national defense always has been and must always remain one of the primary responsibilities of government, and while receiving its fair share of cuts, should not be the only or the main department to be cut, as has been the case in the last few years. Also important to the 5th Congressional District are veterans issues. We have one of the highest concentrations of veterans in the entire nation. I saw a graph one time. We're in the top 5 in terms of the number of active duty people in the country. We're also in the top 5 of having the most veterans of any congressional district in the country. You put that together, and it's an amazing and wonderful place that we have here. So the long-term stability of TRICARE is a major priority. At my request, last August, Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Dr. Jonathan Woodson, traveled to Colorado Springs to meet directly with TRICARE providers, and he came to examine the changeover problems and to provide reassurance that the Department of Defense would repair and sustain our network of providers. To this day, my collaboration with Dr. Woodson, United Healthcare, and our providers has helped restore quality health care for our military personnel and their families. And as you can see, when you drive up Fillmore, going to Centennial, the new VA community outpatient clinic moves closer every day to opening its doors. We can never fully repay the sacrifice of our heroes in uniform, but we can keep our promises to provide them with the highest quality and most convenient care possible. I have gathered the support of the entire Colorado delegation to make sure that this clinic is named after Colorado Springs Medal of Honor recipient and World War II hero, Floyd K. Lindstrom. Unfortunately, there comes a time when even the best clinics can no longer help our veterans, and they go to their eternal rest alongside their families and their brothers in arms. That's why it is so rewarding to me to see the work of Republicans and Democrats alike, civilians and veterans, finally coming to fruition with the purchase of land by the VA for a new Southern Colorado Veterans Cemetery near the Colorado Springs Airport. They just bought that the other day, and I'm sure you're aware. 374 acres of tranquil beauty will provide a dignified resting place with burials expected to begin late next year. Establishing a National VA Cemetery was the first bill I ever filed in Congress on my second day in office, and it's gratifying to see it come to fruition. and I will continue to use my senior position on the Veterans Affairs Committee to be a strong advocate for our heroes on these important life and death issues. Developing a comprehensive energy policy is likewise vital for our nation and our region. The House Natural Resources Committee, on which I serve in a senior position and chair a critical subcommittee, has passed numerous bills this Congress opening up American energy. They would create over 1 million new jobs, lower gasoline and electricity prices, reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and help lower our national debt by generating over $1 billion in new federal revenues. Included amongst these bills was my H.R. 1965, the Federal Lands, Jobs, and Energy Security Act. It was passed with bipartisan support. H.R. 1965 would eliminate government and red tape that now stifles onshore energy production. Also in the news recently is the Keystone Pipeline. For nearly 5 years, the administration and their allies in the Senate have let this project languish. Projections show that this project would lead to 20,000 direct new jobs, 100,000 indirect jobs, and billions in new investment. The longer we delay, the more likely it is for another nation like China to negotiate with Canada and gain access to their supply. Someone's going to use that energy. Canada's not just going to sit there and let it go to waste. It is a major problem when bipartisan bills and dynamic projects that would virtually guarantee new jobs and economic development cannot even get an open hearing in the Senate or a helping hand from the White House. Nevertheless, I will continue to be one of the strongest and most visible energy advocates in Congress. Most distressing are the problems that have come from the failed overhaul of our healthcare system. The President made 3 specific promises when he changed our healthcare. It would lower your premiums by $2,500, you could keep your doctor, and you could keep your health insurance plan. These promises have all been broken for many Americans. I want to take a couple of minutes to share with you a few local examples of the negative impacts of the so-called Affordable Care Act on our friends and neighbors right here in the 5th Congressional District. Take the story of a local senior citizen who contacted my office regarding her plan changes. Prior to the implementation of Obamacare, she had a health care plan that she loved. She paid $50 for her prescriptions in December. In January, she opened her bill and saw that the same prescriptions now cost her $1,100 under Obamacare. Something's got to give there. Take the story of Nicole Butler and her family. They face a canceled plan, higher insurance costs, and an unresponsive bureaucracy and administration. These stories are just a few examples of what happens when massive, comprehensive bills are crafted in secret and that exclude cooperation and consensus building. It is important to repeal Obamacare and replace it with patient-centered reforms that actually work. Even the President concedes that the law is not working when he unilaterally delays key portions of the law for favored constituencies. On December 3rd, the President said, "I will work with anybody to implement and approve this law effectively." Now you've got good ideas, bring them to me, let's go. Our Republican colleagues and I have sent the President a letter requesting time to discuss H.R. 3121, the American Health Care Reform Act. This law focuses on free market, individual health care solutions, rather than on top-down, one-size-fits-all, big government approaches. You've heard the President say that he has a pen and a phone to deal with Congress. In this case, I guess his phone is broken, because my colleagues and I have not heard back from him. So I'll just stick to the Constitution and my oath and keep working hard to bring the nation's focus to solutions that actually help the American people. In stark contrast to this operating procedure of working unilaterally, when Republicans and Democrats collaborate on issues, good things can happen. People should know that on many diverse topics, including local military and veterans issues, Republicans and Democrats are united in their desire to find bipartisan solutions that benefit the people of our region. One good example is the legalization of the Manitou Incline. As a hiker myself, it's important to me that my bill helped make the incline legal. Hikers no longer risk trespassing charges and confusing insurance liability. Thanks to the hard work of many at the local level and bipartisan cooperation with Senator Michael Bennett and myself in Washington, this world-class El Paso County landmark is now even more open and inviting for people who seek a strenuous workout along with breathtaking views. And it's breathtaking just to walk up it. As many of you know, or walk up half of it and take the exit route. Another great example of collaboration was our response at all levels to the devastating fires and floods that have impacted our region in the last 2 years. Everyone at every level of government has worked extremely hard in very trying and difficult circumstances. We should all be proud of the community spirit that shone forth so brightly. President Obama has recently said that this needed to be a year of action, and I thoroughly agree with him on it. That's one thing we can absolutely agree on. Every single step we take needs to be viewed through the prism of improving our economy, strengthening our community, making sure that there is a climate that makes it easier for our friends and neighbors to get a job. With the economy stuck in an anemic holding pattern, though, there is no reason for the White House to delay on projects like the Keystone Pipeline, or for the Senate to delay on House-passed legislation that will create jobs. I remain committed to focusing on common sense legislation designed to create the economic conditions that get the people of the 5th Congressional District back to work in good jobs so they can support their families. That's why I will continue to oppose tax increases, wasteful spending, and the red tape of regulation, and will fight to implement policies that will spur economic growth. Let this be the year that we turn things around. Let this be the year that old divisions are laid aside. Let this be the year that all of us in this room work together to help the people of the 5th Congressional District. We have one of the best communities in the country, and it's exciting to know that we can make it even better. Please remember that my local office here in Colorado Springs is always available to assist you in any way possible. Please visit my congressional website, lamborn.house.gov. You can get contact information there. You can sign up to be a subscriber by hitting on the subscriber icon. Thank you, and God bless America.